And this map can go either way. It's not really favored to anybody. The thing is, with this map, this is the MLG version. It's not the latest GSL version, which if you obviously watch GOM TV, you'd realize there's no gold base. Here, there is a gold base in the center of the map, which will prove to whoever takes that early on and fast could win the game with a really, really strong mid-game pushes.
Yep, Antigua are always about controlling the center with that version. We're going to go to a quick commercial break and word from our sponsors, folks. We'll be right back with the final matchup in this gritty series, 2 apiece between DIMAGA and SeleCT.
It is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go straight into this matchup. There is not a second to lose. This is the final matchup of this best-of-5 series between these two fantastic players. And we're right into it right now on the Antigua shipyard. And it is my pleasure to show you the wonderful stylings of the musically talented, I might add, Dignitas SeleCT. He is in the red trunks playing Terran to the north of the Antigua shipyard versus his opponent from mTW Mind Factory, the Ukrainian terror. It is DIMAGA. He is in the blue trunks playing Zerg to the south.
And these two players cannot make it any closer. I mean, even in their previous history together, including online and offline, they are 5-5 apiece. Very close between these two guys. SeleCT previously going 2-0 offline at BlizzCon, and DIMAGA winning the other games online. But now they are fighting out the Assembly Summer Champion over here, who played so well in that tournament alone, coming to the game today. On the other hand, we have SeleCT, who, despite winning the NA Invitational and multiplayer I-42, has not won something large. And this really could be his tournament, but he has to get through DIMAGA first.
And that's going to be a difficult thing to do, considering what we've seen from DIMAGA. We had that gutsy play by SeleCT, which honestly comes into the best of 5 kind of psychology. You're a game up. You can afford to do something like that. You can go all in on a risky strategy. If it works, great, you win the series. If it doesn't, you've still got a map to play straight up, and if you're confident enough against your opponent, then you can pull that off. We've seen, especially in the first game against DIMAGA, SeleCT was looking incredibly strong, really well-rounded, no honest errors in his play. DIMAGA able to catch up with him after that, and these guys have been going back and forth the entire time. We'll see how this one turns out. I'm looking forward to it one way or the other.
And SeleCT actually hiding his main base, hiding if he's taken an early gas, or hiding the fact that he may not have taken gas at all. In this regard, nothing has changed. He's just doing the same, but playing a bit of mind trickery, especially on this map. It is MLG cross position only. So with this cross position only, SeleCT already knows that getting an overlord to the base is incredibly difficult and may not even be viable at all. So hiding this will give him a bit of an advantage, will make DIMAGA play a little bit safer, may build more links than necessary, we'll have to see. On the other hand, SeleCT could be going for a Banshee, possibly Cloak Banshee, 2-port Banshee, very good on this map cross position because it is difficult to scout. But there is the factory on the ramp, showing that he has nothing to hide, so he looks like he's just going to play as standard as can be.
Yeah, we could see this reactor Hellion play that we've been seeing from SeleCT throughout this series. It works. There's nothing really wrong with doing it, as long as he doesn't overcommit. We saw in the second matchup on Terminus, that's exactly what he did. He overcommitted to the Hellions, and it cost him in the long run. But I have a feeling that he'll have learned from that mistake. We always see SeleCT patching up holes in his play very rapidly over the course of a best of 5. So I don't expect that to happen for him. But yeah, it's going to be the exact same opening here. He's going to lift up. He did build the reactor just a little bit too late there. Not that that makes too much of a difference. It's going to take a really fast command center behind this as well.
And I don't think DIMAGA is going to change anything, actually. Despite not scouting, he knows that it is cross-position only, and he knows that SeleCT could have gone for that. And the only thing that DIMAGA will do differently is he'll be extra precise on timings, such as the evolution chamber, to make sure that if some form of Banshee or aggressive play did come out, he had the necessary options to deal with it. So he's still in gas, he's still scouted nothing as well, so it could be an all-in from SeleCT. But the thing is, with cross position as well, even though it's difficult for Zerg to scout, it's also a long distance between bases for SeleCT. So DIMAGA playing this very smartly so far, and not over-committing or over-defending in any regard whatsoever.
Yeah, he's going to see these Hellions coming, and he will be aware that it's the same thing that he ended up facing in games 1 and 2. If he reacts the same way they did in game 2, he'll be in a wonderful position, spreading as much creep as he can before the Hellions come to start denying that, and that creep tumor will actually complete. So he doesn't have to worry about that at all. And now really SeleCT can only just poke there.
Cheeky
SeleCT. Very nice. Very nice. For those of you who didn't actually understand what just happened there, he attacked his own Hellion because he knew that the creep tumor was there. He couldn't see it, but he was able to hit it with the area of effect.
Very nice from SeleCT, and he's built 4 Hellions so far, and he's going to run into a bit of trouble. He has to get off that creep.
Yeah, maybe he's going to regret setting his own Hellion on fire at that point, but you never know. He's been driven away quite nicely there by DIMAGA, and this is quite a nice natural, really, in terms of the positioning. You can see you've got your spine crawler there. You've got this very narrow area that Hellions could try and pass through. They could try and come around the side, but of course then there's the risk that they get shoved up against the wall here and taken out. So SeleCT's just going to try and deny as much as he can, and is adding the starport on there as well. Still producing Hellions, currently on 6, and hasn't swapped over his factory yet, but that's right next to the starport, so it is possible that he'll go for a swap around as soon as that's complete.
2 Hellions do get trapped though on the natural, and it doesn't matter though. 2 Hellions is still okay for the damage he's done in terms of building units. There are a lot of lings out. But the thing is, DIMAGA is so smart, realizes potential danger and a hole within his build is that SeleCT could drop into his main base again. And he's already spreading creep there. He's got an Overlord, Lynx, and Queens there as well. So he's in quite a nice defensive posture that if anything did come, he could deal with it really well. SeleCT, on the other hand, a little bit supply blocked at 46 right now, and currently building medivacs. And he will want to try to do some form of aggression via dropping into the main base, which is really good on this map, because not only is the main base, but there's that lower little cliff area where Hellions can actually sit on and not be attacked, apart from by Queens. And he may still want to go for it, despite creep and everything being there anyway.
Yeah, it would be a good, and some might say a little bit abusive style of play in order to do that, abusing the fact that this area is here. It's an unusual area. There aren't an awful lot of maps that have this lower ground that you can utilize for that kind of play. DIMAGA, on the other hand, is going the same way that he went in the first couple of games. Going to grab that spire nice and quick, and he's also going to take a relatively quick third over to the east of this map, and units now streaming across the map here for Select. 14 Marines, only a single medevac. We've noticed this entire series has been going really low on the medevac count. This time it looks like he's trying to bring in a few more, 2 to follow that one up, and a combat shield on the way, potentially looking for some kind of timing here. And
DIMAGA hasn't scouted anything yet, did not see the army coming, is now seeing it at the last possible moment, only has Zerglings, but he has 10, 11 Mutalisk on the way. As soon as they pop out, he can very easily clean this up. Select must not commit to this. He knows the Mutalisk timing, and he does very wisely back up, knowing that they will be on the way. And so far, playing very cautious, throws down a third base as well. Very toe-to-toe game, and this last series game.
Which is to be expected, honestly, from these guys. It's exactly what I would have expected to happen. Select just prodding in there just a little bit, probing the defenses, getting an idea of how large his opponent's army actually is. DIMAGA's just going to keep pushing forward here. There are no tanks here, and that could be dangerous. We've got Select now having to retreat very, very rapidly. Large number of mutas, but reinforcements coming from the back, and 2 more medevacs drive DIMAGA back.
Yeah, very nice. Combat shields really helped out there. The Lings died so fast. And DIMAGA's got to be really careful about losing Mutalisk. The way a Zerg player has to play is they should be priority over everything. You must not let them die. Because if they get to a high enough count, that's when you can start one-shotting stuff into the main base. Reactors, supply depots, refineries, and really do a lot of harassment. Even turrets as well. You lose some, you will not be able to do that, and Select will have a lot easier time defending against it. Meanwhile, Select is getting that +1 attack. He's also throwing down that second engineering bay and armory to really push into his upgrades. Meanwhile, DIMAGA is just droning up. 10 drones about to pop, and his creep spread's looking pretty awesome as well.
Yep, it's what we like to see from DIMAGA, honestly. Get the creep spread, and he also understands the importance of the middle on Antigua Shipyard. Always, always the middle. If you gain control of your gold, you often also have a route to deny your opponent theirs. Terran in particular like to do this with siege tanks for obvious reasons. You hold that Zelnaga tower in the center, horrible things happen to your opponent, and then the engagements often happen around there. And Terran do tend to be favored in that position. Whatever the case, we've got DIMAGA with a little bit of harassment here and there. Hasn't quite got the critical mass he would like of mutas just yet, so it's taking him a little bit of time to do damage. Hasn't got +1 yet either, so working his way through those buildings is taking some time. He's keeping an eye out for a potential third, however. Both of these areas are covered, and this command center has just been sitting here helping him to oversaturate this natural as Select is forced to move out in order to defend.
Yeah, he doesn't want to stay on his natural with that command center too long, because oversaturating a natural is absolutely horrible to do. You lose a lot of value in your SCVs that you do have. So he is going to move out and turret up immediately onto that base to make sure Mutalisk cannot harass. And the thing is, the way that Select needs to play, once again, is very defensive. If he can just hold 3 bases and then get a 4th base with a planetary fortress on the gold, his marine count will just go insane, and it'll be extremely hard for DIMAGA to deal with that. And DIMAGA has to prevent, he has to harass with these Mutalisks, and he has to stop Select from taking that gold base easily.
Yeah, and Select is already on 42 Marines and looking for +2, and he's about to complete his +1 armor as well. It's a style we've been seeing from him an awful lot. DIMAGA once again poking in, doing little bits of damage here and there while he can. And it wouldn't surprise me to see DIMAGA try and take this gold and spread the creep all the way up there so that he's got an ability to harass any attempt to grab the gold by Select. The Mutalisk count's now at 25. This is really the count you want. 28 now, it will be 29. He's adding on even more. He's actually going to go above 30, which is a massive number. And continuing with this really aggressive Mutalisk style. The problem, of course, being that the Marine count for Select is getting stupidly high. He's building 10 at once. And if that Mutaball dies, there's not really a lot left on the ground.
And Select does have a drop on the right-hand side of the map, will be able to scout the 4th base and will be able to cancel the 4th base here, which is so good for Select. DIMAGA would hate to have to cancel this, and I'm pretty sure this medevac's going to get vision of it. There it is, and Select will definitely try to cancel this. He may even go to kill it. DIMAGA should be able to stop it, though. Meanwhile, Select is holding that position in the center between his 3rd and natural like a boss. He's holding it tight with these tanks. And he can't really die to a bust, I don't think, which may be DIMAGA's plan here.
Yep. He's got a giant fish. What can I say? What he does with that, quite frankly, is censored. DIMAGA is going to try and pick off a few units here and there. Interesting that Select is not attempted to deny that.
He's waiting till it finishes so he can't cancel it, so he can just destroy it. With +2 Marines, he will be able to destroy it. And oh my god, the Mutalisks go down as well, and he sees all the Banelings morphing as well. He will not unsiege by any means. He is going to sit tight and weather the storm.
I'm not going anywhere right now. You know, I'm just going to stay indoors and play Starcraft these days. Sounds like a much better idea. Here comes the big attack. DIMAGA's going to sacrifice a ton of Lings to make this happen. The Banelings are what's really important. If he can clean up the Marine count, then the Mutalisks will kill everything. A lot of Mutas going down, but I have a feeling DIMAGA's got the count he needs.
He definitely has right now, but the macro of Select will be able to keep him safe. The 4th base does go down without a cancel. It just gets destroyed. The 3rd base is under threat, and that 3rd base, that drop on that 3rd base is enough to keep Select alive as he now pushes forward for that 4th base. He's getting that +3 attack, +2 armor's about to finish as well, and that was a close call for Select. He could have been in a lot of trouble there.
Yeah, he really, really could have. The drop helped an awful lot. Nicely cleaned up there by DIMAGA. He's going to grab that, and he can also then respond to losing that base by building 2 more bases, which is a good thing to do, as far as I'm concerned. Continue to expand and make sure that these drops from Select are spread quite thinly. Also bringing in the Infestation Pit. Going for the Zerg Flyer upgrade as well. Continuing with the heavy Mutalisk strategy in combination with Zergling Baneling.
Yeah, and DIMAGA is going into Hydralisk mode right now as he takes the south, and these top 2 right bases is only 18 minutes, and he's looking at a potential 6 bases, and with all that gas, he actually has unlimited potential abilities to do anything he wants. The thing is, if he tries to bust again, that would probably be the most cost-effective thing that could happen for him against all these siege tanks, and I don't agree with it whatsoever. And is he going to go for it, though?
Well, there are only 3 currently there.
Oh, he's unsieged! Oh, he gets back up just in time.
Oh, yeah, he's on there. And yeah, very much so. Here come the Mutas and a ton of Lings charging in. Is he able to get enough in there? I have a feeling Select's going to hold this one, and that was a major loss right there for DIMAGA. And Select holding that incredibly well, and really that was, as you said, probably the worst thing DIMAGA could have done at that point.
I mean, he's got... I mean, you could understand if he was trying to free supply and stuff, but that's not the case. I mean, he just thought he could hammer through once again, keep the Marine and tank count low for the later stage of the game. But now he's basically said, all right, Select, go take the gold base. I don't care, which is probably, you know, a horrible thing to do right now. But the creep is just about going to be able to deny it.
It's almost there. Does it actually stop it?
I don't think...
Yeah. Oh, the creep stops the base. That's quite the creep spread you have there, DIMAGA. Very impressive. I'm liking that one.
Hydralisk mode enables creep spread to go across the map, and it's looking good, but Select on top of things is denying a lot of it, but Select's upgrades. He's currently at 2-2, about to be 3-2. Ghost production already on the way. He's scanning so he can land on that 4th base. If that 4th base lands, Planetary Fortress and turrets up, then DIMAGA is in a lot of trouble, because once Select has that, he will be able to bunny hop, control the Xel'Naga Tower, can branch off into every different pathway on the map to harass the expansions of DIMAGA, and he will be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I'm liking what Select's doing here as well, because he knows that the threat at this point is that if you take the middle, then the Zerg response is often to go Hive Tech and go Broodlord, because you're going up against Marine tanks, very stationary, it's very easy to snipe off the mineral line there, so he's getting Ghosts already to respond to that. Doesn't have any Vikings, and now this big bust from DIMAGA coming in. He caught Select out of position there, did quite a lot of damage to his supply, has supply blocked him there, but he is unable to do any other economic damage and has thrown away a lot of units to make that happen. And I have to wonder if it was worth it.
And the Planetary Fortress is now up. 3 turrets are down, and Select has the middle. He will now slowly push into the Xel'Naga Tower, and once that is taken, it's almost impossible for DIMAGA to engage without Ultralisk. As we can see now, Ultralisk are on the way. They're the only way to combat this kind of army in these narrow chokeways is to get that mass area of effect Ultralisk out, and the upgrades are flowing well for DIMAGA as well. but SeleCT is just playing once again so tight and solid. Minimal mistakes, amazing defense as well.
Yeah, it's looking really nice for SeleCT at the moment. However, there is this massive, massive army busting through to the third. SeleCT is caught out of position. That mineral line could get toasted right now. Bailey's coming in. It's a beautiful detonation. Oh, it's a work of art right there by DIMAGA. And SeleCT losing really his primary mining base. He's only really got his gold up. He's almost mined out in his natural right now.
30 SCVs went down there. He's lost a lot. He's down to 43 SCVs at 22 minutes. It's not good whatsoever. But SeleCT at the same time did drop the top right, killed an expansion, started to chop the heads off the multiple-headed DIMAGA.
DIMAGA Hydra, what can we say? And here comes the surround with those Zerglings, cleaning that one up. Can he crash down on that big force there? That would be perfect if he's able to. He does have a few Banelings, but he's not quite in the position that he needs to be. Those Ultralisks are about to pop, and there are more Ghosts coming in for SeleCT. He's going to be on 11 Ghosts very, very shortly, and that's another base SeleCT's going to take out here.
Another base does go down as mentioned, but now he sees the Ultralisk on the top right and at the south side. He can immediately switch over. He cancels all Marines, goes directly into Marauders. He has to start that Marauder production, and despite losing all those SCVs, the gold base with Mules is pretty good.
And SeleCT also took out this base over here. He's denied so many bases already, taking out 3. And this drop, of course, will be shut down here. SeleCT knew that. He doesn't really care. He wants to get his Marauder count high enough so that he can deal with the Ultras. Infestor's on the way. His Ghost count is currently at 7, a little lower than it was earlier, but still high enough to be a real threat.
Yeah, he just has to sit and hold that center position now. He doesn't really need to go anywhere. He's killed all the expansions. He knows that the gas count of DIMAGA is extraordinarily low for this stage of the game because of killing these expansions. And as long as he doesn't get caught out of siege or out of position, he's going to be able to hit down this army of DIMAGA, which is only at 168 supply. And the Ultralisk count is still relatively high, is at 9, about to be 9. But here comes that hold of that center position, and he's got to be careful not to get caught and sieged.
Yeah, you wouldn't want that to happen, but DIMAGA must do damage here. His economy's in a horrible state. My God, line after line, rank after rank of siege tanks, and EMP at the back as well to deal with that. The Ultralisk count is not high enough to break through that.
Oh, SeleCT is looking like he's going to be able to knock DIMAGA down to 41.
GG, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. SeleCT an incredibly hard-fought series in the round of 8. DIMAGA is out for the moment, unfortunately, and we're going to be having an interview with SeleCT very shortly, but how incredibly well was that played? Oh,
that is a weight lifted off SeleCT's shoulders for sure. He is very happy with that win, especially going into the next round, where he will face against Elfie, and SeleCT's proven his TVP to be one of the best in the world. And unfortunately for DIMAGA, winning Assembly Summer could not quite win the Invitational here, but congratulations to SeleCT.
Yeah, and we're going to be going to an interview right now with Thomas, so take it away.
Thanks, guys, and welcome here, SeleCT with me. You just won DIMAGA with 3-2. How are you feeling right now?
I feel very happy.
So apparently your jet lag wasn't actually a problem to you, as you said before.
No, not at all. I'm in a good condition.
Well, that's great to hear. Now you're gonna face next player you're gonna face is going to be Elfie in the semifinals. Are you feeling confident on that matchup?
I think Hawk is a lot better than Elfie in TVP, so it's a good chance for me to go to the grand final. I think I'm lucky.
Okay, is there somebody you're afraid in the tournament still?
Right now, no one, because since I've been practicing so hard in Korea, I'm really confident. Yeah.
Well, that's great to hear. I'm going to wish you luck to the next matches, and we're going to go after this to a short break with guys, and we're going to probably continue after 4 p.m. That's Eastern European time, EET. That's +2 GMT. If you caught that, 4 p.m. And before we go, remember to go to uk.geforce.com and enter the contest for that great graphics card. You can get it over there. Just the instructions how you're going to get it. And remember to fill it out. So don't go anywhere and be there ready so we can continue. Thank you.